Hey guys, it's John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to Inspirations for Your Life, IFYL. Great to have you here. It is April 28th, 2023, but this is actually Thursday's April 2027th, 2023's show. If you're new here, welcome. There's a QR code. If you're watching us, just go ahead and launch your app, which has your phone on it, and then point over the QR code, touch the yellow lips. You'll get my link tree with lots of great information. If you're listening to us and not watching us, then go to Believe Me Achieve if you're taking part in our podcast. All right. So I do want to thank you guys for watching, subscribing, being part of this, commenting, and all that great stuff. And I want to thank you for coming back and watching us and supporting us for so very long. And also, I want to thank you if you're watching us on the replays, 1 a.m., 1 p.m., 2 a.m., 2 p.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 5 a.m., 5 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., 10 a.m., 10 p.m., 12 noon, 12 midnight, or whenever you're watching us. Thank you so much for making the choice to have Inspirations for Your Life be a daily part of your day. Thank you so very much. Let's get into our master topic. We start on Saturday, we roll through the weekend, we finish up on a Friday. Here we go, everyone, with the master topic. Here it is. How to agree to disagree. We're on series 2, show 17, and we're on episode number 6. Yeah. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, that we are on our actually on our second year. That's what series 2 means. And so we've been talking about this all week, and this is a really important topic. And so what I want to share with you about agreeing to disagree. So we need to listen to the other point of view. Now, when I mean listen, I'm not just saying, okay, notice the sounds, but be aware and actively be able to recite back or summarize what they said. So there's active listening and passive listening. Passive listening is when you're kind of like listening to music, but you're not really paying attention to it. Active listening is when you want to retain information, such as a lecture, etc., things like that. So you always want to give your friend, your colleague, associate active listening and let them know that you're listening, because they'll be able to tell. And you will quickly fall out of rapport with them if you are not listening actively. That is a key, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So stay calm. So many people I talk to, they get a little crazy. It's like, oh, John, it's not working. And, now what am I going to do? Well, nothing. Stay calm. Staying calm is what will make the difference for you in your life. That's right. I said staying calm. But a lot of people aren't calm. And the reason they're not calm is because they're not getting what they want. They're not getting what they want. So they figure that they should just be, I don't know, rambunctious and whatnot. But that's not what you should be doing. Staying calm gives us the opportunity to focus and to actively listen to what's going on, and most importantly, to treat the person with respect. I think a lot of arguments happen with agreeing to disagree, or just disagreeing, because people don't understand that even though your agenda might seem important, the other person is more important than you, and you need to treat them like that. That is so very, very vital, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's so very vital. And if you are abusing someone or trying to get them to believe you when you have a wrong intention, well, that's not good. So I'm going to talk about another technique that's actually going to help you with the agree to disagree, or to be able to compromise. And this is the Benjamin Franklin decision-making method. All right. So how does it go? It's actually pretty cool. He came up with this a long time ago. As you know, Ben Franklin was one of the greatest people amongst all the other people. And in the summer of 1772, uh, Franklin had received a letter from his friends, the English scientist Joseph Priestley, and he was torn between relinquishing his position as the minister of the famed Unitarian Church, Mill Hill Chapel in Leeds, and accepting a lucrative position as the general assistant to the Earl of Shelburne. Now, like many of us, we've all had situations that we have to make a choice. Priestley was torn and turned to a friend for advice. Rather than simply offering advice on the particular choice, Franklin had taught and showed him something that was much more valuable, which was how to choose. So by giving Priestley the simple mathematics of decision-making, Franklin created what is now known as the pros and cons framework. We also call it the Benjamin Franklin decision-making method. So whenever you have a difficult situation and you're not able to, let's say, come to a conclusion, people use this a lot in sales. And so it goes just like this, and I'll explain it to you. So you can use it in sales. You can use it in so many things. So in sales, here's typically how it goes. So we're having a hard time making decisions. You might say, gee, Jim, Benjamin Franklin was one of the greatest minds of our time, which you may know. And he had challenges, making decisions. And he discovered a very cool way to make decisions, which is logical and practical. So I'd like to share it with you. I think it might help us out here. All right. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to just take a piece of paper and just draw a line down the center and put on one side, put a plus, other side, put a minus. Okay. And so write all the reasons that you are for something, and then all the reasons that you're against it. So normally what I would do is put the negatives first, okay, and then the positives second. And so generally, when you get to the positive side, you're typically saying, okay, and this is going to help you get more freedom. This is going to help you do this. And you help them fill out the plus side, okay? But when it gets time to the minus side, you just shut up. So that's why I like to do the plus side first, and there's different rules of thought. And then when you get to the minus side, you just shut up. And so you let them go through their deliberation of, thinking, and you help them on the plus side, but not on the negative side. And they're not able to come up with a lot usually on the negative side. And then, you spend a few minutes and they might say they're done, or it might be 10 or 15 minutes. And so it's like, well, it looks like you've got your decision. I do? Yes. You have more pros, and there's only 2 cons, and you've got like 22 pros. So it seems like you have made your decision, and I just would like to ask you when you'd like to take delivery. So I think when we can use logic to help us make a decision, this is why I love physics so much, because in physics, you're able to come up with reasons why you should do something, and then use a theory to prove that. Let me give you an example. In science, we have something called the scientific method. And so what is the scientific method? Well, the scientific method is a really cool method, and you start out by observing what's going on, and you question. For example, let's say we're going to do an experiment with the scientific method, and we want to find out whether using AA batteries is more powerful than 2 let's say D batteries. Now I know the answer, but let's just say we'll make our observation. We'll research the topic. We'll make a hypothesis. Okay, that's when we're making the thing about I believe that D batteries are stronger and have more power than AA batteries. Okay, or AAA. You test with your experiment. Use your meter, whatever it's going to be. You analyze the data. You report your conclusions, and that's how it works. if somebody was just to do something and not have a basis to why it should be done, I think that would get a lot of people frustrated. Why? It would get people frustrated for one reason, because they don't necessarily know why it's going a certain way. Okay. And I think that when you understand this, I think you'll respect the fact that logic makes sense. When logic doesn't make sense, it usually means that you have not formulated a question. You might be asking yourself all kinds of 20 questions, but you really haven't formed a question that you want to get an answer to. Maybe the question is, should I make the sacrifice and stay with this job? Or should I jump ship and go work for this other company that seems more lucrative? I mean, so there's different ways, you can do that. And I think the Benjamin Franklin decision-making method is so easy. It's so simple. And people are blown away by it because it literally shows you which decision way you should go. Now, if people have to say, "Oh, I don't know what I want to do," well, it's clear, it's on paper. Yeah, but I don't know. Well, then you got somebody that's wishy-washy. And so, do you really want to hang with somebody that's wishy-washy? It could be lots of reasons, ladies and gentlemen, but these reasons are not bad reasons. Okay, they're just reasons that I feel make a difference in other people's lives. And so, if we were to think for just a moment, like we talked about the Benjamin Franklin decision making method, and it's very easy, like I said, to do. And it was very interesting how he used this technique. And so, you know, you can also do it on, let's say it's donations, right? And you might say, gee, should I give a donation to this charity or should I not? And you can highlight, the reasons why you should, and then you do the negative why I shouldn't. And why you shouldn't, you basically just be quiet. So if you're helping someone, because remember, you want to show that there's more positives. And generally, okay, yeah, and you can put that down, you can put that down, you can put that down. And that's another reason, isn't it? But then you shut up when it comes time for the negatives. And the people are going to have a hard time coming up with negatives. They might get a couple. And then when you've got a whole column of things on the left and nothing on the right, well, it looks like you've made your decision, sir. I have? Yeah. You got 26 things on the pro and 4 things on the negative. Well, I'm not done yet. Well, it seems like you are. And if you keep doing this, it's probably procrastinating because you're not happy with the decision that Benjamin Franklin's decision-making method actually shared or taught you. And a lot of people don't quite get it. But how to use the Benjamin Franklin decision-making method is so easy, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it is so easy. And so we're using logic. And so what Benjamin Franklin did is he analyzed the pros and the cons, very similar to a scale. Okay. And when you visually see that one column ends up longer than the other, it becomes evident either the pro or the con wins. You can do this with relationships. You can do this with your job. You can do this with goals you're working on. And Franklin's decision-making method uses what they call weighted analysis. And Franklin clearly explained the problem we all have with decision-making. I have my own way of explaining it based on what I learned from studying his methods. So there's always this way, right? And so Franklin's technique was made by having two lists side by side in two columns on a sheet of paper, and you list the pros in one column and the cons in the other. And so, like I said, once you completed the list, you would analyze it and apply estimated weights to each item. So what you can do is you can basically give a score, if you will. Then you'd strike out two items with the same weights. And then you continue by removing all the items where one pro would equal two of the cons. That eliminated three items. Then he extended this in reverse by removing all the items where two cons equal three pros. Let me repeat this. So once you complete the list, you analyze it and apply the estimated weights to each item. Then you strike out two items with the same weight. Pretty easy. Then you continue by removing all the items where one pro would equal two of the cons. That eliminated three items. Then you extend this in reverse by removing all the items where the cons, two cons, equal three pros. That's five more things eliminated. The process reduces the list to a manageable size and only leaves the most important items to consider for making the ultimate decision. But the real simple way to do it is just to look at the fact that if your brain put all that down, then obviously that's the decision. So Ben Franklin had a fascinating life, but a challenging one. And so you could probably see how he came up with this great idea. And I hope that you found it to be an easy way to analyze the options available in life, because a lot of times we put our emotions into a decision, but those emotions are really not something we should consider about the decision. We need to keep the emotions out. For example, if you have to fire someone at your company, don't make it personal. Keep it business. Go right down to the emotions. I always tell people, look, this is not personal. It's business. And this is an exit interview. It's not open for discussion. Happy to answer any questions you have, but the decision will not be changed. And I think that's pretty cool. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It has been an amazing privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you this fantastic evening. Thursday. We'll really run Friday morning, but Thursday is the show. I hope you'll like, love, support the channel. Definitely comment below. Tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. Go to my YouTube channel, John C MORLEY serial entrepreneur. Look for that key phrase to help keep our content free. Make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee, a bowl of fruit, or a plate of savory dessert. Either way, we'll be grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even if it's always to give you the most jaw-dropping motivational content to inspire you to change your life. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night or morning, and I'm going to see you guys tomorrow to wrap up for our final, which will be our episode number 7 for this show, and then we'll get off to something new on Saturday. Have a great night, everyone, or a great morning. Be well.